Hey, what's up everyone? Alright, this video is going to be on black candle magic and clearing. I put up a post a couple days ago in this Facebook group asking you guys to vote on what type of spell you would want to see me post for the beginning of October, and everyone voted for the black candle clearing, so here it is. I am a big fan of working with black candles. I use them a lot in my practice for many different things. I find that some people have a reservation, they may be a little uncomfortable, or they associate black candles with black magic, darker magic, baneful, harmful magic. And the reality is that any color candle of the rainbow can be used to bring harm or to hex or to cross a person. So it's not necessarily black, but that's kind of what's been advertised or kind of commonly known of what black candles are for. But in hindsight, black candles are actually phenomenal for cleansing and clearing and getting rid of negativity, bad luck, hex breaking, spells, whatever it is. On the flip side of that, white candles can be used for the same thing, and white candles is universal. I think we all know that. White can be used in place of any other color candle you have, but something about black, it's strong, it's powerful, and when it comes to cleansing and clearing, I personally prefer to go towards using a darker candle. Purple can be used also for cleansing, for hex breaking, in place of black if you absolutely cannot find one, but chances are you can find a black candle, or at least you can, order a black candle. So what I have here is a couple of different ingredients. I'm going to show you guys what you're going to need for this spell. You all know that I use the black glass candles, but you're not limited to this. If you only have access to maybe a votive or a taper candle, you can use those as well. You just may have to kind of tweak a little bit how you set this up, and when I go into demonstrate the video, you'll see what I mean. But this is super easy spell, very effective. It can be done for both your personal self, if you're trying to rid yourself of energy that's unwanted, or if you're trying to rid your home. If you are working on the home, this may take a little bit longer because depending on the size of the place that you live in, each room needs to be cleaned and cleared out. So this may be something that takes you a few days to do, which is okay. If you're really going through something, or if your home is in chaos, or if the energy isn't right and people are feuding and not getting along, then it's worth it, okay? If this is just for your own personal self, then performing the ritual is relatively easy. However, you still will want a candle that is going to burn, I like more than one day. So if you used a stick candle or you used a votive candle, then I would say get 3 and do it for a minimum of 3 days, okay? A minimum of 3 days or 3 nights in a row. I like these because they burn for about 4, 5, 7 days, depending on how quickly they are working, and you don't have to really think about it. You don't have to go and replace the candle. You light it and set it, and it's there and it's going. But if you don't have access to this, then those are the alternatives. Whew. All right, my dears. So with that being said, let's look at the ritual. What you're going to need to perform this ritual are a few simple ingredients. Number one, starting with, of course, a candle. I have a 7-day glass candle here, but you can use a taper candle, stick candle, or votive candle. If you are going to use something other than the 7-day candle, then you want to make sure that you purchase a few of them, as this ritual is done over a course of several days. So if you get, some votive candles, I would say get 3 or 5 so that you can burn 1 candle for each day. A minimum being 3, a maximum being 7. So you can do this anywhere between 3 and 7 days, depending on your schedule, what's convenient for you, how much cleansing of thyself or the environment is needed, okay? The next thing you're going to need is an herb that is good for purification. I have sage here. I think sage is relatively easily accessible. Most people are familiar with it. You can find this at your local metaphysical store, Botanica, Whole Foods, or other naturopath stores tend to have sage. An alternative to using sage would be hyssop or agrimony. You can use them in combination, or you can use them separately. There are many other types of herbs that are also used very well for cleansing and ridding, but these are the ones that I'm recommending. You'll also need a oil, conditioning oil to dress your candle. This is a banishing oil that I have blended up by hand. You can use a banishing oil or jinx remover, hex breaker of your choice. If you don't have any of those, you can get yourself some eucalyptus essential oil and use that as an alternative. You will also need a crystal. This is a clear quartz point. Clear quartz is a very good crystal for absorbing energy. You can also use Apache tear, and I'm sorry I don't have one on hand to show you guys, they're upstairs, but if you don't have a clear quartz, you can get yourself an Apache tear. I went with this crystal because, again, I feel like most people are semi-familiar with the clear quartz crystal, and these are very easily accessible, whether at a local crystal store, metaphysical store, or ordering them, and they're very inexpensive. So quartz crystals are probably one of the cheapest. You can get one for just a few dollars. You will also need some sort of container. I have two different containers here to show you. There's two different ways of doing this, and whichever one works for you. You can either use a glass or a bowl or a Tupperware container like what I have. So kind of just use whatever you have available. All right, so what we're gonna do for the first spell, or the first option, is for cleansing your home environment. So if you are living in a place where you feel like the energy needs to be cleared out, this will be very effective. So what you want to do is take your candle, and you're going to want to dress your candle with the essential oil. Once your candle is dressed with your oil and herb, you want to set your candle down inside of a container of water like this. Just move this out the way. You will also then take your quartz crystal, and you want to drop that inside of the water beside your candle. Quartz crystals are perfectly safe to be placed in water. Some stones are not. Some stones are not hard enough, or they're just not safe for water. So quartz crystal is very, very, very safe. It will not dissolve. You don't have to worry about any damage being caused to your crystal from the water. So that's another reason why I chose this one, and it's very effective. You will then take this container and place this in each room of your home. So if you want to cleanse the entire home, then you will want to take this and place this in your living room, in your bedroom or bedrooms, bathroom, den, dining room, etc. If you live in a relatively big home, then you might want to have more than one, because you want to leave this in the environment for at least a full day. So this essentially will be lit when you are going from room to room. So let's say you start in the living room, leave it there, it's lit. Let that burn down for a full day, and then you take it to the next room while it's lit, set it there, and let it burn down for a full day. So yeah, if you have a big home, you might want a couple of these. You may want to do two, so you can do 2 rooms at a time. It's completely up to you. That's option 1. Now, if for whatever reason you either want this to go a little bit quicker, now remember, this is still going to burn for 5 to 7 days, so you should be able to get through your entire home with 1 candle. Unless if your home is really big, then you may need more than 1, or let's say you don't want to leave a candle burning in a particular room for whatever the reason. I don't know. Maybe you have kids, or an infant room or a child room or something like that, and you're just not comfortable doing that. That's fine. Or maybe you just don't want to leave a black candle burning out for people to see. An alternative would be taking your glass of water, like this, and your quartz crystal. Drop that down in there, and then you want to leave this in each room. So you can leave this in a room for a full day, and you can either do one of 2 things. 1, wherever your candle is placed, maybe your candle is sitting separate or in a private area or an altar room, you can have your candle down inside of a container, like so. Let's imagine the water wasn't in there. Down inside of a container, you left this in your living room for the full day, and then you get ready to light your candle, because you want the candle going as it's sitting in the water. So you leave this for the full day. Let's say you put it out 9 a.m. in the living room. That night you get home from work, you take the water, you pour it down in there, you light your candle and let it burn overnight. You do the same thing for the next room. Then you go into your bedroom, leave the glass of water with the crystal, let it sit there for the full day. That night, pour it in there, light your candle, let it burn overnight, okay? The whole purpose is that the candle should be burning in the water. that is absorbing the energy, if that makes sense. Also, side note, always wash your hands. So if for some reason, you know, you touch the water, you get wet, you take the crystal, whatever, you want to wash your hands afterwards, because you want to make sure that the energy is being absorbed and going in here, and you're not, you know, handling it or touching it too much, so you're not reabsorbing it yourself. So those are your 2 options and 2 ways of doing this. Both ways are very effective. If you have a stick candle and you don't have one of these and you're like, well, how do I put the candle in the water? Get a candle holder. You will need a candle holder that's going to sit up above the water line. So you may want to get something, even if it's a votive, you may want to get one of those candle holders that sit up rather high and place the candle there so that it can burn down without being extinguished by the water. I hope that made sense. Yeah. So yeah, this is the easiest method. It does take a few days, but it is very effective. You will notice some significant changes once you do this. And if you think of another or an alternative way of doing this, by all means, feel free to do so. Whatever works, as long as you're incorporating all these elements: water, your candle, your quartz crystal, your herb, and your oil. Okay, so if you're going to use this candle for a personal cleansing, this is one of many ways to do it, but I'm going to show you 2 different options. I'll show you the way that I do it, and I'll show you another way, and whatever you're most comfortable with and works best for you is what you should do. So assuming you've already cleansed your candle with your Florida water or your incense or whatever that is, you can use, again, a glass candle, a stick candle, a votive candle. The only one I'm going to say not to use is a tea light candle, okay? So your candle is dressed, it has everything in it, it's ready to go. Option 1 is to literally physically take this candle and run it over your aura. So over your aura, like so. So starting at the top of my head, I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna run this candle through my energy field so it can take up the energy that I'm carrying. That's option 1. Option 2, if you're like, I'm not comfortable doing that for whatever reason, you can add some sort of personal concern to this candle. So that would be a strand of hair, for if you're bald, and for men or whoever, if you don't have any hair that you can add to this, you can do nail clippings. You could use bodily fluids. I would recommend like saliva. I don't do a lot of blood magic. I don't recommend blood magic for many different reasons, so I'm not going to recommend that. If you decide to do that on your own, all I'm going to say is do some research and good luck. That would be a whole separate video, but I'm not going to recommend, don't go cut yourself and do all that. You don't have to do that. If you want to use bodily fluids, I would say use saliva. But hair, nail clippings are fine. An article of clothing, something that you've worn, you can take an old t-shirt or maybe an old sock. Don't go cut up like your favorite t-shirt or whatever, but something that you don't really care about that you've worn, and you want to just cut snippets, little pieces, very small pieces, and place that down inside the candle. So small that the flame, so if it's in the candle, it's not going to ignite the fabric. Just little shavings. So it doesn't take much, you just need your energy on it. You can do it that way and put a personal concern and light your candle. You can, if you like to, if you're not wanting to do any of those for whatever reason, you can also, just grabbing my crystal, take your crystal, okay? Take your quartz crystal and go over your aura with your quartz crystal. So you want to over the top of your head, your front, your whole body. You might even need a friend to help you to go over the backside, if at all possible. If not, it's okay. But if you can, that would be a little bit better. And you can put your quartz crystal down inside the candle. This is one that I'm using for demonstration, so you might want one that's a little bit smaller than this, that'll fit inside the candle. You don't have to worry about it catching on fire. You don't have to use one of this size. You can, but you don't have to. Now, the thing about this is, if you're going to use your quartz crystal and you're going to place it down inside the candle, there may be wax on it afterwards. Either way, whether you're doing this for yourself or you're doing this for your home environment, you will have to thoroughly cleanse your candle. So here's the trick to that. You can put the candle down in here, in like the previous part of this video where I showed you how you place it down in the water and you do it that way. My recommendation is when you dispose of the actual candle, the crystal goes out with it. Throw it away. Get rid of it. just get rid of it. And when you are done getting rid of it, you know you want to wash your hands, because again, this is going to be containing the energy you're trying to get rid of. I would throw it all away. And the way you do that is taking it away from your home. So you want to throw it, if it's the glass, you may want to throw it in a dumpster, you know, on the next block or down the street or something to that effect. You can dispose of the crystal separately, maybe by burying it if you want to. These are just options, whatever feels good to you. But you want to get rid of this because you're trying to remove it from yourself. As well as the container. So you have either your glass of water or your little Tupperware container that's had the crystal and the candle burning down in it, and you want to dispose all of it. So you throw the water out outside the home, so don't put it down your sink. Take it with the candle away from the house and pour it back into nature. So leave it by a tree, leave it in a park, pour it down a sewer or gutter or something like that. You're giving it back to nature, and of course you're going to be grateful and you're thankful that it's removed whatever is in the house or whatever it is you're trying to get rid of, and you are getting rid of that along with disposing your tool. Now, if you don't want to throw away your crystal, I happen to like this crystal a lot, honestly. It's really, I don't know, it's really pretty. I bought it, and I wouldn't want to throw this away. I want to keep it. That's fine. You can keep it. What you would do is remove your stone from either your candle or your container of water, and place your stone in a separate, water is okay, or in a separate little container that you will do some cleansing. So I would put some incense, put it in a container, maybe throw a piece of like sage leaf in there, or put it on something and let some incense blow over it. You want to make sure that you cleanse the crystal really, really, really good, because it just absorbed everything you're trying to get rid of, and you don't want to end up reabsorbing the energy that you just got rid of, or reabsorbing it into the environment. The crystal will hold on to as much of it as it possibly can, but you don't want to run the risk of some of it kind of getting seeped out and you touching it and you picking that vibration back up again. So I would dispose of everything, remove your crystal, put it on whatever it is that you're going to do the cleansing. Make sure you wash your hands, Florida water. Water is very cleansing, so if all you did was run your hands under some water for a few minutes, that would be fine. But you can Florida water, to have a little extra safety, a little extra precaution, and then you want to place your crystal somewhere and cleanse your crystal very, very good. Incense, sage, put it in a container of water, then let it sit out. I would sit it, if you use a clear quartz, you can sit it in the sunlight to recharge it, or in the moonlight, or even both. So sun and moon, let it recharge, and then place it back so you can continue to use it for whatever your normal purposes are. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. There's a lot of little steps, but this is actually a very simple ritual. It does work. It is very effective. It just takes a couple of days and a little bit of effort and patience. As far as, is there anything you should say over your candle or say while you're doing this? I like to leave it up to the individual. So you are the only one that knows what's going on in your home environment. You're the only one that knows what the issues are. So basically, when you're lighting your candle, when you're preparing everything, you are asking for whatever it is, whatever the troubles are, to be cleansed away and removed and taken out away from the home. Whatever's being affected, you're asking for that to be removed. There isn't a particular prayer or affirmation that I always say. It's different each time, but it's just pertaining to whatever the situation is at the moment. Same thing as if you're doing the personal cleansing for yourself. As you're going over your aura with your crystal or with your candle, you're asking to remove the bad luck, bad energy, negative energy, whatever, sickness, illness, whatever it is that's affecting you, your blockages, your money ain't flowing, whatever it is, you're asking for that energy to be removed, and you're asking, for this crystal or this candle to remove that from you. So, use the words that you feel most comfortable with. If there is a prayer that you like, or a psalm that you like, or an affirmation, totally fine. There's no really right or wrong way to do this. There's just certain little steps to follow to ensure that you'll get the best results possible. So I hope that is clear. I hope that helps you guys out very much. The best time to do this would be starting on the full moon or the day after, leading into the waning moon. So for those of you, we're in October right now, it's October 2nd. The full moon this year or this month is this coming Thursday. So you can start Thursday night or start Friday, and any time between the full moon to the new moon during the waning phase. You're not held hostage to that. So if for some reason you're not able to do it, or maybe you're not even seeing this video during that moon phase, you can do this anytime. You can do it anytime. However, if you are one that follows the moon cycles, or you want to kind of tap into that energy a little bit more, then do it during your waning moon phase. Okay, hope that makes sense. If you don't know when that is, you can Google it for whatever month you're in or wherever you are. You can Google the waning moon phase. So that is the black candle clearing ritual. If you have any questions, let me know. I really do hope I've explained that as clear as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope all is well, and I hope that this is successful, and if it is, let me know. All right, you guys, I will talk to you soon.